Hello everyone. What an incredible journey we're on. You've already rocked 7 days of our Advanced Vocabulary Power Challenge, and your dedication is truly shining through. Each day, you're not just adding new words. You're actively honing your linguistic skills and expanding your ability to express yourself powerfully. Keep building that amazing foundation. Today marks day 8 of our adventure, and we're excited to dive into 5 more crucial words. These words are hand-picked to make your English even stronger and boost your communication impact. Remember our simple mission. Understand each word, visualize it clearly in your mind, and then put it to use today. That's the secret to real vocabulary power. So, let's focus up, ignite our minds, and unlock these next linguistic gems together. Your advanced vocabulary journey continues now. Our first word for today is assiduous. It's an adjective, which means it describes a person or how they do something. Let's say it together slowly. Assiduous. Now, say it with me. Assiduous. Great job. What does assiduous mean? This word comes from Old Latin words that meant sitting by, which gives us the idea of being constantly attentive. Assiduous means showing great care and effort, very careful and hard-working. It describes someone who is always busy and careful when working. Let's see a picture to make it clearer. This picture quickly shows someone putting in great care and consistent effort into their work. Now, let's look at some sentences to understand it better. The assiduous student spent hours checking every small detail of their project, making sure there were no mistakes. This sentence shows how being assiduous means being very thorough and careful in your work. Here's another sentence. Building a strong vocabulary needs assiduous effort every day, not just now and then. This means you need to be consistently hardworking and careful in your learning for it to truly stick. Now synonyms are diligent, meticulous, painstaking, thorough, and careful. And then antonyms are lazy, careless, negligent, and unmotivated. Here's a simple way to remember assiduous. Think of assiduous as a sigh. Dear us, if you do something with such effort, you might let out a sigh, but it's worth it. This is a strong word for talking about dedication and hard work. Let's say this phrase clearly. I am assiduous in my goals. I am assiduous in my goals. Yes, hard work pays off. Our second word for today is juxtapose. It's a verb, which means it's an action word. Let's say it slowly. Juxtapose. Now, say it with me. Juxtapose. Awesome. What does juxtapose mean? This word comes from Old Latin words meaning next to and to place. Juxtapose means to place two very different things close together to compare or contrast them. It's about putting opposites side by side to highlight the differences. Let's see a picture to make it clearer. This picture clearly shows two very different things placed together to highlight their contrast. Now, let's look at some sentences to understand it better. The artist decided to juxtapose a rough, old painting next to a sleek, modern sculpture to show the big difference in styles. This sentence shows how an artist might use this technique to make differences stand out. Here's another sentence. If you juxtapose his early work with his later masterpieces, you can clearly see how much he grew as a painter. This explains how comparing two different stages of someone's work can reveal their development. Now synonyms are compare, contrast, place side by side, and set against. And then antonyms are blend, integrate, mix, and combine. Here's a simple way to remember. Juxtapose. Juxtapose sounds like just a pose. Imagine two very different people striking a pose right next to each other for a photo. This is a great word for talking about comparing things. Let's say this phrase clearly. I like to juxtapose ideas. Say it again. I like to juxtapose ideas. Yes, Comparison helps understanding. Our third word for today is sagacious. It's an adjective, meaning it describes someone who is wise. Let's say it slowly. Sagacious. Say it out loud. All together now. Sagacious. Good job. What does sagacious mean? This word comes from an old Latin word meaning quick to understand. Sagacious means having or showing very good judgment and wisdom, being very wise and sharp-minded. It describes someone who makes smart decisions. Let's see a picture to make it clearer. This picture helps you imagine someone or something that is very wise and thinks deeply. Now, let's look at some sentences to understand it better. The sagacious old leader always gave wise advice, helping his people make the best choices for their future. This sentence shows how a sagacious person's wisdom helps others. Here's another sentence. Making a sagacious decision means looking at all the facts carefully and thinking wisely before you act. This explains how sagacious decisions come from careful, wise thought. Now synonyms are wise, shrewd, astute, discerning, and insightful. And then antonyms are foolish, unwise, ignorant, naive, and dumb. Here's a simple way to remember. Sagacious sounds like sage-ish. A sage is a very wise person, so someone sage-ish is sagacious. This is an important word for talking about wisdom. Let's say this phrase clearly. I seek sagacious counsel. Say it again. I seek sagacious counsel. Yes, wisdom guides us. Our fourth word for today is ineffable. It's an adjective, meaning it describes something that's hard to put into words. Let's say it slowly. Ineffable. Try it out. Now, say it with me. Ineffable. Fantastic. What does ineffable mean? This word comes from Old Latin words that mean unspeakable or cannot be spoken. Ineffable means too great or extreme to be expressed or described in words, beyond words. It describes feelings or experiences that are so powerful or wonderful, you can't truly explain them. Let's see a picture to make it clearer. This picture helps you imagine a moment or feeling that is so special, words simply fall short. Now, let's look at some sentences to understand it better. The beauty of the vast night sky, filled with countless stars, was so ineffable that words simply couldn't capture it. This sentence shows how some experiences are too grand or beautiful to be truly described. Here's another sentence. She felt an ineffable joy when she finally achieved her lifelong dream. It was a feeling truly beyond words. This explains a feeling of happiness so deep and powerful, it's impossible to explain in detail. Now synonyms are indescribable, inexpressible, unutterable, sublime, and divine. And then antonyms are describable, expressible, definable, ordinary, and mundane. Here's a simple way to remember. Ineffable sounds like inexplainable. If something is ineffable, you just can't explain it well enough. This is a wonderful word for describing profound feelings or sights. Let's say this phrase clearly. That moment was ineffable. Say it again. That moment was ineffable. Yes, some things are just magical. Our final word for today is tenacious. It's an adjective, meaning it describes someone who is very determined. Let's say it slowly. Tenacious. Now, say it with me. Tenacious. Outstanding. What does tenacious mean? This word comes from an old Latin word meaning holding fast. Tenacious means holding fast to something, not easily letting go, very determined and persistent. It describes someone who sticks to the goals and doesn't give up easily. Let's see a picture to make it clearer. This picture helps you imagine someone or something that holds on very tightly and refuses to give up. Now, let's look at some sentences to understand it better. Despite many failures, her tenacious spirit kept her trying again and again until she finally succeeded. This sentence shows how a tenacious person keeps working towards the goal, no matter the setbacks. Here's another sentence. The plant's tenacious roots held firm in the strong winds, refusing to be pulled out of the ground. This explains how something can be physically very strong and hold on tightly. Now synonyms are persistent, determined, strong-willed, firm, and stubborn. And then antonyms are weak, feeble, yielding, irresolute, and giving up. Here's a simple way to remember tenacious. Tenacious sounds like 10 aces. Imagine a tennis player hitting 10 aces in a row. It shows amazing determination and a strong grip on the game. This is a powerful word for talking about determination. Let's say this phrase with confidence. I am tenacious in my efforts. One more time. I am tenacious in my efforts. Yes, never give up. Alright, my awesome vocab learners. Now that we've understood all 5 words, assiduous, juxtapose, sagacious, ineffable, and tenacious, it's time to see them come to life in a simple story. Listen carefully, and try to spot each word as the story, the young inventor's journey, is told. Our young inventor, Julie, was truly assiduous in her work, spending endless nights in her garage, checking every circuit and connection of her new robot. She decided to juxtapose old discarded parts with cutting-edge new materials, hoping to spark a unique design. When her robot finally took its first step, Julie felt an ineffable sense of wonder. It was a moment too amazing for words. Her grandfather, a sagacious retired engineer, watched proudly, knowing Mia's tenacious pursuit of her dream, despite many setbacks, had finally paid off. So, what's the important lesson we learn from the young inventor's journey? Being assiduous and tenacious helps you reach your goals. Sometimes you need to juxtapose different ideas to find new solutions. With a sagacious mind, you can create and experience things that are truly ineffable. Alright, my absolute language superstars. Day 8 of our Advanced Vocabulary Power journey is successfully finished. You've not just learned, but understood these important words: assiduous, juxtapose, sagacious, ineffable, and tenacious. Remember, doing this regularly is your secret power. Every lesson you watch, every word you practice, helps you grow a lot in your English skills. You are building strong communication power, one word at a time. Thank you for your amazing effort and positive attitude. We're excited to learn even more powerful words with you in the very next lesson. Don't forget to like and share this video to help others learn, and subscribe to the channel for more English adventures. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep shining.